This is the Franchise Basketball Insider, presented by Massengale Eye Care, Oklahoma City's leading eye care provider since 1989. Call 631-2020.
Greetings, basketball fans. Our Oklahoma City Thunder got back on track here at home tonight, running away with it in the fourth quarter by scoring 35 points and finishing with a 124-103 victory over the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook each had double-doubles. Durant had 32 points and 11 rebounds. Westbrook had 21 points and 13 assists, and it no doubt was a pleased locker room. Let's first go to the podium with Thunder head coach Billy Donovan, and then to the locker room with Dion Waiters, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook.
Are some of the lineups that we're seeing right now, are they a product still of early season experimentation, or is this just a night-to-night matchup thing that you're kind of going through?
Well, I think you're always looking to look at matchups and those things, and you always, I think, want to sub and try to put guys in position where they can have a good matchup or a matchup they can handle and they can have success when they're out there. But I have confidence in our whole entire team. I really mean that. Nick Collison is by far one of the most professional people I've ever been around. He's one of the most unbelievable team guys I've ever been around. And, I think he, not playing tonight, like he sees a bigger picture too. We've got to develop our whole team. Certainly we've got some really high-level established players, but, I think when you look at a guy like Kyle Singler with the trade, Dion with the trade, DJ Augustine with the trade, when you're coming in like they were coming in a year ago, it takes a while to get accustomed. And I think that trying to give those guys the opportunity to play. And that's not to sit there and say that Anthony Morrow, who's been really, really professional, the next night couldn't come out there and play either. So I think we got to be able to make those decisions. And I think every guy on our roster is really, really important. So I don't think you want to, as a coach with your team, saying, hey, listen, we're locked in with this and we're never changing it, and this is who we're going to be for the rest of the year, because things can change. You get foul troubles, you get injuries, you have different things you have to deal with. I think all of our guys need to be prepared and ready to play and made to be feel important. And that's, I think, one of the things I've tried to do at least these first 5-6 games is keep really kind of everybody engaged, also with the understanding it's hard to perform and play well if you're not getting into a rhythm. So I tried to help those guys create a rhythm for themselves tonight. So
speaking of Morrow, is that one of the things, is it to try to get a look with some other people? He got a DNP tonight and his minutes.
Yeah, no, and I talked to Anthony before the game. I think, one of the things, someone talked about this before the game, is there a trend in the NBA of playing 2-point guards? That's a little bit different, when you've got two really, really explosive point guards out there. And, Dre gives us some really, really good defense. I've got confidence in Anthony's defense as well, but it was one of those games where I felt like we were going to have, enough scoring in the game if we moved and shared it, but wanted to put some length, on one of those guards, and really both those guards, because I think when you talk about Russell and Robertson, those guys have length against those guys, and then our bigs did a great job of really preventing those guards from getting downhill. So, that was a decision we made, but that's not to sit there and say that, Anthony couldn't be in there, or Nick, against Washington, as we start to evaluate that.
You get comfortable out there, and anytime you feel comfortable, the game is much more easier. And I think the guys tonight did a good job of finding me, and I was able to make plays. Most importantly, we got the win.
The lineup that kind of spurred it away in the middle of the fourth quarter was you, Ennis, and Kevin, and Serge. How explosive can that group of
dangerous, man. It's dangerous. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that get buckets. So, we just got to do a good job of just continuing to find one another. I think Russ did a great job of just, making plays, which he always does. And we was able to make plays and, just feed each other. I mean, anytime the ball is moving like that, man, we're tough to guard. And, we took care of the turnovers tonight. And we play hard, man.
Could your defense set up your offense?
Oh, yeah, of course. I just want to show people that, it's not about scoring with me. So I just try to go out there and, play hard, play defense, and that get me going too. Just a block or a steal, whether I'm creating for myself or, one of my teammates, just trying to pick the intensity up.
Why were you able to be so disruptive as a defense?
I thought we were aggressive tonight. Did a better job of being aggressive and not let people come at us, which led to us doing what we do, get out in transition, getting steals.
The energy was really high in that fourth quarter. Was there kind of an emphasis to try to put this one away?
To close the game out. We put ourselves in position in the last few games in the fourth, and tonight we closed it out.
Can you talk about the production of Dion and Ennis both had big games? Can you talk about the production from the bench?
Did a great job, man. Did a great job tonight. Coach challenged those guys to come out and play well, and they answered. Did a great job of coming out, competing, and playing at a high level.
What did you guys do better against Bledsoe in the second half?
Just, pick and roll coverage a lot better in the second half. Did a good job of keeping the ball in front of us.
Russ, you came out with that big dunk in the first quarter. How big is that kind of play just to set the tone and get your teammates excited early on?
It's good to be able to get out in transition and get the crowd involved and obviously get my guys and everybody else going as well.
We started the game off well, then we had a little dry spot. In our second unit did a good job of closing out the first half, and we hit him in the mouth early to start the third quarter, and we just cruised on.
The lineup that spurred it away was you, Russ, Serge, and then Ennis and Dion, who played well tonight. What can that lineup do offensively? Just how dominant can it be?
It could do a lot on both ends. We got versatile defenders. Ennis is doing a great job on the defensive end for us. He's blocking shots. He's in good position. Serge is playing well and playing hard on the defensive end. I mean, on the defensive end, we can wreak havoc. Offensively, we got a lot of weapons. So that speaks for itself. But we want all our lineups to be really good, and I think we have a team to do that.
You did your step finger roll there, but right before that, Russ doubled around. You guys are up 20. What does it say? He's willing to kind of sacrifice himself in that kind of situation.
Yeah, he just plays extremely hard, and that was one of those momentum-changing plays. Coach talks about those all the time. That we want to always win the momentum-changing play category, and that was one of those plays. And did a great job, and we converted defense into offense pretty quickly and got points, and that kind of broke their backs a little bit.
First time in Thunder history that two guys get 19-plus off the bench. Pretty
Well,
exciting to hear that.
Yeah. That shows how deep we are as a team. We just got to put it together. We got to be consistent with it. I'm sure it was Dion
And Ennis.
Yeah. It makes it even better if you don't know who it is.
Right.
But yeah, Dion had the ball in his hands. And that's what he excels at. He can shoot the ball, he can spot up and shoot, but he's better with the ball in his hands. And I was thinking that second unit, coach did a good job of putting it in his hands. He made great decisions all night, and it's just a bulldog. And he just did what he usually does for us. Score and rebound, and we got a good win.
In terms of the team's development, was that a good experience maybe for that second unit? They had a rough first quarter, but then to see them bounce back.
We need to go through these times, It's vital for our success. It's vital for our growth. We need to go through it. It's not good going through it. It's not fun, but we need to. And new system, new lineups, different team. And we need to go through some rough patches. And you can definitely win games not playing well. But, for us to lose games, it helps us out a lot. And I just want to keep building.
Ennis Cantor also had 21 points, Dion Waiters 19, and Serge Ibaka 10, as the Thunder had 5 in double digits in the 124-103 win over the Phoenix Suns. Next, the Kevin Durant to Washington rumor parade. It gets started now because the Thunder play the Wizards on Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. We get our coverage started here on the franchise at 5 o'clock at Broadway 10. We hope you'll join us for countdown to tip-off at that time. Thanks for watching this edition of the Franchise Basketball Insider. I'm David Garrett for Oklahoma's New Sound for Sports, 107.7 The Franchise.